Purdue University in Indianapolis, and he ends up being like the second person up there in terms of in the computer department. I think of a student who left, came there, got into HBI. It used to be another name, I don't remember right now, and building an apartment maintenance, bomb. And I remember the student came in, got a job in the housing complex, getting like $15, $16 an hour. I mean, I haven't even gotten that amount of money. And I have in terms of my education more than that. I mean, come on, man. I was talking to a student the other day who is going to finish HBI, and I hope he's telling me the truth. That he is going to be, he's in HBI and he's going to be working in a firm or a company where he is going to, and he's going to be in a union setting. And he's going to start out getting something like $22 an hour. And he's like, man, you know how long I have to work to get $22 an hour? If I was working $22 an hour, man, come on, man, I'd be...
You'd be happy.
Yeah. I'd be much happier than where I am now. There's a couple of the things I need, I wouldn't be kind of scratching around to find them, man. I'm telling you. These students have a lot of opportunities, but my problem is the adjustment between reality and, you know, their own situation. It's changing their life. They're, you know, adjusting some of these social skills that we are teaching to make them realize that it's important to relate to people, the way we speak to people, how we do it. You know, I think now of a student who, I used to work in the dorms, as you know.
Yeah.
And I used to work nights, so I remember one day I had a student who came over and he wanted some stuff. I was closing up. I was the only one in the dorm. I was closing 4 wings down. And this student came to me and says, well, hold my door. And I says, no, you ain't getting in the door, you can't go in there. And he started yelling and screaming and cussing and all that stuff. And I didn't pay mine. I keep going on and doing, locking the building down. I had planned to help him. And I still watched him. I didn't do anything because he was going to leave in the morning. I knew he was late based on my time. And eventually, I came back to him and I said, so you want to get in the building, in the door, in the room? He said, yeah, man, you come in and open it. I said, and that's the way you know to ask for it. And he says, well, that's the way I've always done it. And I said, you got to find another way this morning, bro. And he finally reached a place. He says, please, sir, could you open the door? I said, yes, thanks. Now, that's the way you do it, brother. And you got to change some of those attitudes if you want to make the other stuff. Those little words, please, thank you, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Some students don't even like the sound of it. To tell them you're sorry is like, oh, so the whole experience taught me that, you know, in as much as I had all the chances in my life, the young person to do some stuff, I didn't do them. Maybe church, maybe the community I grew up in, maybe all of these things, maybe my decision. But some of these kids students that I see where there is, unless they make a conscious effort to change the route that they are going, the program itself is not going to achieve what it really can achieve. And I don't think it's just for Atterbury. I think it's, if that is the kind of community we have for the Job Corps community, and granted too, Job Corps at Atterbury does have more, and I don't know about the other people, but they do join a lot of people from Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. And we seem to draw a lot of students, and you know, people talk about underprivileged. I have a problem with that word, so whatever that means. Students who did not get the chance, students who failed to take the opportunity, students who allowed their anger and in strife, and you know, some of the other inner, and of course some of them may have had experiences of racial discrimination too, and I guess on both sides of the fence. Because we've had a lot of white guys there now too, you know, Caucasians. So it's not, you have Hispanics there, foreigners out there. So if we talk about some of these things, I think the persistence of some of these students in the past and their social skills that they lacked, that really push a lot of them there, and if they don't, Job Corps can do so much about it. The students have to come to a place that they realize that, look, we're not going to make it. So that has really helped me personally to appreciate more the values that I grew up with, and hope I can help them to see that, look man, the world is different from my little world. The other world out there, the corporate world, you go to a good job, you got to dress properly, you got to respect supervisor, you got to be creative. You can't wait on the managers to tell you to do everything. You got to have some sense of creativity. And if the students don't grasp those concepts, then they are just going to slip right back where they belong. But for me, it was an opportunity to see that I'm blessed too. Even though I had my father and mother separated, that didn't mean that was the end of my world. Like some students here, they tell you they don't know their father and they're angry at every mail that comes across. Hello. They have done wrong. You can't live your lives through other people. You got to make a point at which you consciously decide that, and that for me is where a lot of Job Corps students need to recognize. The resident advisors, the counselors, the managers, everybody tries to help them to reach that place, but until they are able to see and appreciate it and let it become a part of their lives, they are going to be struggling for a long time. Now, even if they leave Job Corps and didn't get anything, or they got something and it never become a reality, like a couple months ago we had a story of a student who got heavy equipment operator. He got a job, something like $19 an hour, and after about 2 weeks he lost that job. Reason? He was asleep. Man just woke up too late, too often, and by the time he called in, the guy said, "Ah, man, found him sleeping on the job." I mean, come on, man. I mean, sleeping is good, but there's a place for you to get up, go out on time, and do your work. People don't want you on the job if you're sleeping, man. What are you doing? Wasting time. Yeah, so my experience has been very diverse. It helped me to appreciate my own self and my upbringing. And helped me to see that there are people around who still need some help. And if these people who are willing to recognize that they can't make it are willing to come along and do some things, then they'll make it.
So tell me what an average student does during the day and what part you play in that.
Okay, an average student gets up at 6 o'clock. The cafeteria opens at 7, so they need to get their breakfast. Then they go to class, which begins at 8 o'clock till 4 on a regular basis, except like on Fridays when classes are over early, or on whenever payday is. And then they get back to the dorm at 4. They can go to the recreation center, be involved in all kind of games, basketball, pools, whatever is available. They can lift weights. And supper is served from 5:30 to 6:30. They get lunch at, there are 3 lunch times now. One begins at 11, one begins at 12, one begins at 1. So they are involved in all of these 3 activities. Then they get back to the dorm, and during the week they get back to the dorm at different times. When they get back at 4 o'clock, they usually have a meeting to talk about the various things that took place, because while they're away, in between that morning, they had to do all their details. That is, clean their rooms, make their bed, get a shower, clean the bathroom, make certain that all the trash is removed from the dormitory, so it's been clean, because once they're gone, then they have people who come along to inspect them every day to see exactly what's, and they get a score. So at that 4:10 meeting, they'll be able to tell them exactly what's going on, what scores are, if they have letter available, the post if any letter is there, if they